What is walkaway power and why you need to have it and use it right now? Guys, this is something that I always knew I had, but I never actually gave it a name until a week ago. I think I was watching an interview, a podcast, Las Culturistas with Chaperone. I love Chaperone. And she was talking about how she managed to grow in the industry, right? And become a famous musician that she is right now. And she mentioned that she had walkaway power, that she always walked away from situations that didn't serve her. And looking back in my life, I realized that I did that over and over again. I walked away from many situations, from relationships, from people, from opportunities that I looked at and I thought, this is not for me. This is not serving me. And walkaway power, it's a simple concept, okay? It's basically that. It's the ability to walk away from things, even when you want them. And that's when it gets hard. Because sometimes you want something so badly, but that is not for you. I had a relationship once that I loved that person. I loved him so much. And at some point, I began to realize that it wasn't going to last. It wasn't for me. He wasn't that in love with me as I was with him. Things shifted. Maybe he never was. I don't know. I don't want to go too deep into that. But when I realized that I was alone in a relationship, I walked away. I could have stayed. I could have tried to fit in. I could have tried to change. But at what cost? Right? The problem with staying in a place that it's not for you is the cost that you need to pay for it. And the cost is yourself. It's always at your own expense. Staying in situations and places that do not serve you is always going to cost you yourself because you're going to have to give so much and do so much for people and places and just a situation. It can be work, it can be friendship, it can be your family. You know, sometimes people ask so much from us and they're willing to give so little. And we feel depleted, we feel taken advantage of. And we wonder, why am I doing this? Why am I accepting this, right? I deserve better. So in order to harness walkaway power, you also need to understand who you are and what you want. Because if you don't know those things, you will accept anything. And as long as you're accepting being poorly treated and taking less than you actually need, this is going to damage not only your self-perception, but how other people perceive you. So I think that it's important to practice this, walk away from situations. I think the first time I used my walkaway power was when I moved out of my mom's house, and I was 26 at the time. And I realized that living with her didn't serve me. I was a grown adult, I had my own money, I had my own stuff, but living with her, she was always like trying to control me, trying to tell me what to do, where to go, what time to wake up, what to do with my time, everything. And I was at a point in my life that didn't serve me anymore. I was no longer a child. I needed my freedom. I fought for it. I had my own money. So obviously, I had the right to decide and choose what I wanted to do. And it wasn't easy. I have a Latina mom. So the concept of children living from, at least for Brazilian mothers, is something very painful. It's not something that they take on lightly. So I had to go through a very difficult, painful process to break that tie, to walk away from that situation. But I did, because it would cost me too much. It would cost me my dreams to stay with her. And it's painful to admit that, because we want to be close knitted with our family, right? We want our families to be our support system, to be, our safe havens. But when they become something that's threatening your happiness, your joy, your success in life, It's a very high price to pay. So I needed to walk away. And I did. I walked away from bad jobs, from, bad employment that was abusing my my ability to work and to produce anything and to be, productive. I walked away from degrees, from college degrees that didn't serve me, right? I was in the field of engineering and technology for a while, and then I realized, oh, this is not for me. I walked away. I pay the price for walking away, guys. Nothing is just like, oh, I don't want it anymore, I drop it. No. But it's a decision that has to be made. And walk away power, it's about deciding and doing something. It's not about just sitting complaining and thinking that things are going to change if I complain enough. I used to work at a school that I had a coworker, and she had this sort of like attitude about things that she was complaining about everything all the time. It's like being in a toxic relationship. When it comes to work and working for people, it doesn't matter how much you complain, nothing's going to change. Because you're working for someone else. It's not your own business, if you're an employee, if you're an employer, I don't know. If you work for someone, nothing's going to change. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the workforce is built in a way that it has been like that for years, decades, centuries, okay? There's a hierarchy of people that are the leaders, and there's the people that, do the heavy lifting, right? And as a teacher, I was like the product. I was teaching students. I was, doing my work, grading homeworks, grading papers, stuff like that. And I am a replaceable object for those people. So it doesn't matter how much I complain, how much I stomp my feet and pout. It doesn't matter. Nothing's going to change. It's better. It's easier for me to change and leave, get up and leave, than to stay there and try to debate and talk. If they don't see me fit, if they don't see me profitable anymore, they can just fire me. So it doesn't really matter what I think, what I want, what I think that works. So having this sort of behavior of complaining, right? It's like being in a toxic relationship. This person's not going to change. If they lie to you, they're going to keep lying. If they manipulate you, they're going to keep manipulating you. They're not going to change. People don't change if you keep nagging at them. They change for themselves. They don't change for other people. No one changed for anyone. Okay? People only change when either they're going through a lot of pain and they need to, or if they see some benefit in changing. And it's probably not because they want to keep you, but because they want something that you can give them. And they change in order to get that. It may not be because they love you. It's very unlikely. Okay? So it's easier, guys, to walk away. It's easier to walk away than to try and battle with things that are not fit for you, that are not good for you. Life's too short. Life is too short for you to try to change everything around you. It's easier to move. If you're not happy with the place you live in, move. If you don't like your job, quit. I know this is a bit radical, but it's the truth. If you don't like your life, change it. Walk away from things that don't suit you. Walk away from friendships that are not real friendships. Walk away from relationships that have no love, that have no trust, that have no real partnership. Walk away from family members that are abusing you, using you, subduing you, repressing you. Walk away. Don't be afraid. I think that people are usually scared of what's on the other side of that sort of freedom. What is the price that you pay? I'm going to tell you right now, you'll be a little bit alone for a while. You might struggle financially. You might feel scared, depressed, anxious. That's what happened to me after walking away. Because you get out of a safe situation where everything's predictable, where you know who you're dealing with, but you also know the pain you're going through. You walk away from that and you walk into something new that you're not familiar with. So your whole system gets, freaked out. You get like, oh my God, what am I doing? You get that feeling of, oh my God, I've ruined everything. You know, you didn't. Okay? You were in the wrong place with the wrong people doing the wrong stuff. Now you're giving yourself an opportunity to do the right thing for yourself. Walk away and step into whatever's new, best, and suits you better. Trust me, it's worth it. I did it. I do it all the time. I'm always willing to walk away from a situation. I'm always ready to leave. Okay? Trust yourself. You know when it's time to go. And always be prepared as well. Always have a plan B. Always have some money saved. Always have, another place, another idea. Give yourself options. Live your life in a way that you do not rely only on one person, multiple people. Okay? Or just on yourself. I think relying on yourself is the best thing. I rely on myself to do what's best for me, but I'm always ready to walk away from things that do not suit me. And that's been how I've been living, and I don't regret it. Thank you for watching. Bye.